channel. So I just wanted to make this video today and take a second to do a little update. Now that I am 9 days into having the first balloon of the Obalon balloons, the first of 3. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what it was like after I got it inserted, what I have noticed, what's changed, and just give you a little update. I do go back this coming Wednesday and I'm going to get the second balloon, and I wanted to wait to record this update just so that I actually knew what I was feeling, how long I was experiencing certain symptoms, and everything like that. So that's kind of where we're at. So after I got the first balloon, which I talk about it right after I got it in my last video, and I talked about how it wasn't that bad, it's not that difficult to swallow, and it really doesn't take that long. It takes like 10 minutes in the office, and then I was good to go. And I did go to work that day. So the biggest thing that I noticed and what I felt right away was this pressure kind of at the bottom of my diaphragm, at the very top of my stomach. It almost felt like the balloon was trying to float out, which I'm sure is normal. It is filled with gas, so that totally makes sense. Now, what they tell you to do and what I did not follow to a T, and I kind of experienced some of the negative side effects of, is to stick to liquids while your stomach is inflamed. So for me, that was about 3 days, and they say, for the first 2 to 3 days, make sure you take it easy, drink liquids, don't eat a lot of food. So I was, just not really paying attention. So I drank protein shakes the first day, and then the second day I drank protein shakes for most of the day, and then I tried to eat a little salad with a little bit of ground beef on it, and it definitely aggravated all of the inflammation that was kind of going on. Now, what does that actually feel like? So while I said that it was super easy to get the procedure done and to have the balloon, the first 3 days did not feel good. I'm just going to be honest with you. It really did not feel good. What it felt like was these hardcore muscle spasms, almost like this churning of my muscles back and forth. I don't know, I feel like my stomach thought that it was food maybe that needed to be digested and pushed down, and maybe that's what causes the inflammation. I literally have no idea what is so inflammatory about the procedure. Probably just the fact that it's a plastic balloon in your body. I mean, I really don't know, but either way, you get a lot of inflammation. It feels like muscle spasms, and that feeling, it is painful, but that is kind of where the Valium prescription comes in that they give you. It is for muscle spasms. It can be used to treat muscle spasms, among other things. So I really did find that when I took my Valium and then a couple Aleve, it's really not that bad. You do need to be careful which ones you take. I know that you can't have, I think it's ones that have ibuprofen. I think it's the NSAIDs, NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. But don't quote me on that. I just literally went by the brands that they suggested in the information packet that they gave me, and I really haven't looked further into it. So make sure you check before you do that. Another way to describe the cramps for my ladies out there, it kind of feels like period cramping, except up much higher. So that's about the level that it was at. So really nothing unbearable, but still uncomfortable. So that is kind of how the first 3 days went. Lots of liquids. I did get really tired. So because it already takes up part of your stomach and how much the volume of stuff that can go in it. When it's inflamed, it's even less, which is a big adjustment when you're used to being able to eat a lot. Now, that is, of course, the whole point of the program. However, because I could not eat solid food either and was only drinking protein shakes, I was getting really tired because I was not getting a whole lot of calories. Even with the balloons in, you still have to eat enough calories for your baseline body functioning. It's called your basal metabolic rate, which is the number of calories that your body burns every single day just to make sure that you continue to breathe, your organs continue to function, you do not, your body muscles don't atrophy. So there is a certain number of calories that your body is burning every day. So I was struggling to hit that because of the inflammation and because I was restricted on the types of food and the amount that I could eat. Now that the inflammation has gone down, I'm totally good. I'm not feeling that way anymore. So that is all to say, the first few days are a little rough, but it does get better. And the other thing that my doctor did not suggest to me, but someone else did, was to make sure that I took a vitamin and was taking vitamins every day, because that's obviously a little tiny way that you can really pack a punch with your vitamins and micronutrients that you're not getting if you're not eating a large variety of food, like, the rainbow of vegetables and fruit and different kinds of meat and fat sources and stuff like that. So definitely start taking your vitamins. It is something you should be doing anyways, as far as what I've always been told. And on top of that, you can supplement with vitamin B12 too to help with your energy levels, because that's kind of where I noticed the most, outside of it being crampy, was I was just really, really tired. I just kind of wanted to lay around. Unfortunately, that also was not that comfortable during those first few days. I did have to sleep in the sofa chair in my room, because when you get it, and I guess just because it's inflamed, like, you can feel where the balloon is. You can feel like what side of your body it's pressing on. I know it's kind of a crazy feeling. I don't feel it anymore after those first few days. Like, I really can't even feel the balloon. I'm sure as I get the second and third one, I'll be able to feel just in general a little bit more, but on just the first one, I really can't even feel it anymore. So when I first went home, really when I first left, because the pressure, I could feel where it was floating. It almost felt like it was pressing into the bottom of my diaphragm. One of my friends did say, that's what being pregnant feels like. Now you know what it's like to have something pressing on your organs. Have no idea if that's what it really feels like. Never had a kid before, but maybe some of my moms out there, can confirm this. I don't know. Either way, I didn't enjoy it. Then when I was trying to sleep, what was happening was I could feel it, because I'm a side sleeper. So I would be, on my left side, and I could feel it float up to the right. So I would roll over because it would be uncomfortable, and so I'd be sleeping on my right side, and I could feel it float up to the right. And so I kind of just got to the point where I just thought it was really uncomfortable. It was kind of keeping me awake, and I ended up just going to sleep in the chair. And I already plan on that most likely happening after this next Wednesday when I get the second balloon. I do feel a little bit more prepared for this second balloon, what I anticipate the side effects to be. So, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I do think it will still hurt, but it will be all right. The other thing is I'm really, 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 really excited to finally get to see my dietitian. So I have been keeping a little journal, and in this journal I have my goals. I have been keeping a little log, I guess you could say, of my symptoms, things that I want to explore, and then I already have at least 2 pages worth of questions that I want to ask. And for anybody who is going to do this procedure, or even just speak to their doctor in general, or maybe book their own sessions with a dietitian, no procedure required, just wants to go speak with them, I would suggest doing something like this, because I know that when I'm on the spot, I cannot think of everything I want to ask. I always leave and I'm like, oh my God, and I can, a million things run through my head that I'm like, oh, I wish I had asked them this. I wish I had asked them this. Oh, what about this? So as of, a week and a half ago, I've started writing down every question that I have. So I am excited to see her, talk to her. I have a ton of questions for her. I kind of feel like she is going to be really annoyed with me, and whatever, I'm paying for it. I'm going to make you work for it. That's just kind of my attitude about it. That's your job. So hopefully she is a good sport, because I am seriously going to pick her brain. So I have been keeping track and counting calories on MyFitnessPal. I plan on showing it to her. I plan on using that tool with her, so she can look and see if there's any patterns that maybe I haven't seen yet. And on top of that, I don't want to be a calorie counter. I want to be someone who can eat intuitively and just listen to my body the way that you hear everyone. I listen to my body, and I eat what feels good for it, and all of this super positive, it comes to me so easy, mumbo jumbo type stuff like that. I want to be there. I really do. But I've also heard some people be honest and say it takes time to figure out how to do that. It takes time to learn how to be that way. So I want to count calories right now because I feel like it will help me personally and my dietitian be on the same level and having the same conversation whenever we are first starting out. I am going to tell her that one of my goals is, as I move through this relearning process, and specifically when I go into this kind of refeeding process at the end of 6 months, when I get all of these balloons taken out and I suddenly have all of this space in my stomach, I want to know by then, I want to have developed tools by then that I'm good. Just because that space is there, I'm not taking it up with all of the items or eating styles that have gotten me to where I am today. Anyways, I think I've covered everything. So what it kind of felt like: cramps, terrible. They do go away. It gets better. Sleeping, not comfortable. Had to sleep in my chair at first. We're good now. As far as, how much space it's taken up in my stomach, how much I can eat, I am eating a little bit less. I can't gorge myself, but I can still eat like a full big plate of food. But if I tried to totally stuff my face, it hurts. So it has made a little bit of a difference, but I am certain that after the second and the third balloon, that is when I'm really going to notice it. And another thing that, this comes from advice from other people in my family who have had bariatric procedures. If you're going to have a bariatric procedure or have the balloons or something like that, when you first start eating after that procedure, eat slowly, because you don't want to end up making yourself sick or end up hurting yourself. So that was literally the first thing that one of my family members told me was, okay, well, eat slowly because you don't want to make yourself sick. And that honestly, even in itself, is something that I have to work on and change about myself. I spent years working in a restaurant, like I have mentioned previously, which meant that I did not sit down we'd work 10 hours. You get to sit down for maybe a cumulative of 45 minutes of that, some in the morning, some at night, whenever you're literally like doing the paperwork. Like, that's the time that you get to sit. All that space in between there, that means that you are standing while you eat meals, sometimes literally standing over the dish pit eating, and that's all the time that you have. And so I got to where I could eat a plate of food. I mean, I could eat a whole dinner in under 10 minutes. Really, I can eat pretty quick. And that's kind of something that ended up becoming ingrained in how I ate, because for so many years, I would get my one little taco and be told I have 30 seconds to eat it, and like I have to get back out there. So definitely over the next few months I will be working on eating slower, because at this point I'm not going to have a choice. I'm going to end up putting myself in discomfort and in pain if I don't figure out how. So other than that, I have worked out. I went and did a Camp Gladiator workout. That went totally fine. I didn't feel the balloon or anything while I was moving around, and I was up and down, jogging around, everything like that, and it went totally fine. I do have to drink a lot more water. I already did drink a lot of water, but it does dehydrate you, so that is something that you need to be mindful of. And that's really all I can think of right now, or so far. So here in the next couple days, I will finally get the second balloon, which is why I wanted to just make the time to come in and kind of update you on what it has been like already. And hopefully the next time you see me, it's going to be after I've gotten the second balloon and everything has gone great. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So I have just gotten home from getting the second Obalon balloon. I was kind of in a rush to get out of there and just busy, so I didn't get to film as soon as I left, but it really hasn't been that long. So I went in for my second procedure, the second balloon. Basically, just went in. It was the exact same procedure as before. It was faster to just kind of get in. There's not a lot of talking with the doctor. The nurse came in and asked me how things have been going, talked a little bit. I have not really been having to take any of the medication as far as the nausea or the diarrhea medication that they prescribe. first time I tried to take that gulp of water, I don't know, I didn't have my mouth closed right or something, and I pretty much like inhaled the water and started coughing and literally had to take the balloon out of my mouth and like die a little bit because I was trying to cough the water out of my lungs that I just tried to breathe. But that was, it has nothing to do with the balloon. That was just me, like, I don't know. I think I literally just like tried to somehow take a giant gulp but still have my mouth open, which is not possible. So anyways, put the balloon back in, take a big sip of water, took a second to pause, get my mind right, tilted my head back, mouth closed, and finally took that big gulp, and then I was good to go. So I know that some people struggle a lot with the balloon insertions. It really is a mental game. It's literally like if you were to gulp a shot, just toss it back, big, sip of water, and just take one big giant gulp, and it's already moving, and you're good to go. So we did that. As soon as it was in, they get it filled up. You can feel it filling up. I don't know if I talked about that in the first video. Definitely with the second one, you feel it a little bit more because you've already got something in there, and so you kind of feel like some, not like bubbling, but there is gas being released, just a little bit of excess, and you kind of feel it moving around, a little bit of pressure, and that's it. Even right now, it doesn't feel like I've got oranges in my stomach. I can hardly feel it right now. I do feel like I'll probably get a little inflamed later, maybe have a little bit of, muscle cramping. I don't know. Maybe that's just going to happen on the first one. Hopefully I don't experience that on the second one, but there's no way to know yet. So I will let you guys know if I do. That being said, right after my appointment, went straight to the dietitian. She was super sweet, awesome. I loved her. Of course, I'm crazy. I feel like I was basically running the appointment instead of her running the appointment. And I walked in, and the first question she asked me was just, what's your diet and weight history, which is something I've gone over with y'all. So gave her a shortened version, and then pulled out my notebook, my handy dandy notebook, and was like, okay, well, I have a list of questions for you, and I'm a note taker, so just do your thing. And she really hardly got to say anything. Like, I think maybe she normally has a spiel that she gives people. She had stuff set out on the table, like protein shakes and a little plate with the plastic food and stuff like that. But honestly, the questions that I had, like all of the questions I asked, the answers were stuff that she was already going to tell me or a little bit more in depth. And so we did a 24-hour food recall. She just asked me what I had in the last 24 hours. We talked about that. Talked about what calorie range I should be at. She asked me what my goal weight was. I asked her, what BMI range should I be in, because honestly, muscle does weigh more than fat. So I'm not super married to this ideal number. It's more so the fat content on my body, how toned I am, and that type of thing. And so really I feel like she was just kind of vibing with the fact that I was ready to go. Obviously knew a lot about diet and nutrition. There was a point in my life where I was studying to be a personal trainer. I thought about going to school to be a nutritionist and a dietitian. Just my life path has taken me other places, and so I haven't really been able to pursue that, but it's definitely something I've always researched my entire life and been very interested in knowing about and understanding. So she's like, all right, well, what questions do you have for me? And I just start firing them off. I mean, I had a list of like 25 questions. Told her, like, I want, this is how often I want to work out a week. This is my goal. My goal is to get off sugar. I said I want fruit to be a dessert for me. I asked her different stuff about, does full fat, low fat matter? Do you have a preference, when it comes to dairy or other items, stuff like that. I asked her what macros I should be at, if there should be a certain amount of time between my meals, if I should be doing intermittent fasting. I mean, I asked her a lot of stuff. And so we're just firing them off one by one, getting through it. I think I probably only had a 15 or 20-minute appointment with her. And she was honestly like, I mean, you sound like you've got a game plan and like you're good to go. You know, these are the macros I want you to stick to. And, you know, I'll see you in a couple weeks. So I'm excited about it. I do think that, you know, I still have a lot of changing to do with my diet. I'm not going to say the last 2 weeks have been absolutely wonderful. I am, you know, I've definitely had, you know, donuts and stuff like that here and there. But the point is not to feel guilty about having this type of thing. It's just not to have it in excess. Moderation is key. You know, variety is the spice of life. All of those cliche sayings, but they really are true. The biggest thing, and you know, one thing that I mentioned to her is my husband is the complete opposite of me. He is, you know, half a foot taller than I am, has a hyperactive thyroid and a hyperactive adrenal gland, so he's got the opposite problem. He has a hard time gaining weight, and so while I've just started trying to lose weight, he is just now trying to gain weight, and so we're kind of on like an opposite thing. So it's definitely going to be a lot of marrying different kind of portions, portion control. Maybe I make a dinner, take a quarter of it, give him the rest, because he's trying to eat even more than he normally does, because it takes thousands of calories a day for this kid to gain weight. And then just talking about simple substitutions. Maybe I'll make him fried rice and I'll use cauliflower fried rice, or just little stuff like that. Make my, you know, grilled chicken and put it over a salad, and he can have grilled chicken and put it with, you know, some mashed potatoes or something like that. You know, no, we don't have to make 2 different dinners, but just swapping some of the accessories on top, if you want to call them that, cheeses and sauces and stuff like that. So I think that it's going to work out. It all takes time, and I am super excited to continue this journey, to keep getting started. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning my stats. They did tell me I had lost 1.5 pounds, which is, you know, fine really for the first 2 weeks, especially with one balloon in. And they said I should really see that pick up with the second and the third balloon, which I will get that third balloon in 3 weeks. So I will keep you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button for more updates as I go through this process, you know, that would be awesome. And like this video to let me know if this is the kind of content you want to see, if you even care about the fact that I'm getting the Obalon, or if this is just a passing interest. So anyways, thank you for watching, and